It says we're live already here.
Looks like we're live.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I got to get my second screen muted over here.
Yeah.
okay.
Is Alex doing our sound check?
Sound check.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're there.
Alex has a lot. Alex has a lot of tricks up his sleeve tonight. Okay, here we go, guys. Are you ready? You ready, DeMarco? 3, 2, 1, and welcome into DroneNation for August 18th, 2025. The new Antigravity 360 drone is here, whatever. And we have our 360 experts back on the panel tonight. Eddie, who has dabbled in 360 cameras and everything else, and whatever, incorporates a lot of 360 into his videos. And also Alex Escardo from Miami Beach. He is specialized in 360, cameras. He's even had the Spear Insta360 device for his Air 2S. So both these guys have done a lot of 360 video over the years, and this is, going to be a good show to have them on tonight. I want a couple of quick updates. I kind of learned they're not in the show notes. The hover drone, the orange waterproof hover drone, is going to go on the Indiegogo on the 21st, Thursday. So, Marcus, you can get your money
just
together
like the
for that.
Huh? Just like the V-copter.
Yeah,
Hey,
just like the V-copter, yeah.
Seriously, isn't that? I mean, I'm interested in what you guys think. That seems to be such a narrow, focused product to me that I just wonder how successful it can be.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the panel here does a lot of water sports, right? I don't think any of us are big time surfers or boaters or.
Yeah, it is a pretty niche product. I mean, it's great for that audience, right? If you kayak, if you surf, if you jet ski.
But we don't even know the capabilities of it yet. And Eddie, you have the Pro Max.
Yes.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things about it that I had hoped it would be that it's not.
Yeah.
I guess we'll learn more Thursday. They'll have to put some more details out when they start the Indiegogo. Maybe we'll know some specs or whatever. So just go over there on their website on Thursday, see if you can learn something. My other little last minute tidbit, I was just playing around with my Insta360 X4, not the X5. This is the X4, and it got a firmware update today, and it added the ability to use the mic Air with it now too. So that's the third device from Insta that it works with now. It works with the X5, now the X4, and also the Ace 2 Pro. So that little mic's becoming more useful all the time.
Have you seen the new microphone, Ron? The new one with a built-in GPS and microphone, 32-bit float, internal recording.
I've seen some reviews of it. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Does that work with the X4? Do you know, or is it only the X5?
I do not know. Yeah, I do not know that yet. I watched a couple of videos on it, and I think, and again, I haven't watched recent, but at first I think it was only available for the first two cameras, the Ace Pro 2 and X5. But maybe
I have it in my cart, but I haven't checked out because that microphone and an ND64 filter right now pending in my cart is $269.
Holy guacamole!
Well, and explain that. That's not just a mic. That also is a GPS device, also, right?
Correct. So it'll record all your telemetry. So I like that when you're like on a bike, for example, on an e-bike, you can overlay that in your footage, and it shows your elevation. It shows how fast you're going. So it's pretty cool. You can actually do that now by pairing your phone or your Apple Watch to the Insta360. But what I found is that it would record telemetry for like 2 minutes, and then I guess it loses connection or gets out of sync, and then all of a sudden the telemetry is frozen.
Oh wow! Huh. Wow. Well, I hope this works better for that purposes. And we've seen that before. Didn't the GoPro cameras they've had that in before, right?
They've all had that. So in the past, you can buy an actual remote that has a module. What's new now is that it has a screen, so you can preview your video, you can control your camera, and it's a microphone. And it comes with all the accessories. You can wear it as a watch, you can clip it onto your bike, you can clip it onto like your shirt. It's pretty cool. That's why I don't need it, right? Because with the DJI mic, you have a microphone that's 32-bit float. That's why I'm like on the fence about it. And I've watched so many reviews, but like, none of the reviewers have sold me on it. Like it's something that you need.
Yeah, yeah.
So, question, Eddie, why do I need 32-bit float? I never have understood. Simply as a YouTuber, I understand if you were doing some high fidelity work or something like that, but do we, as the average person that's going to use a remote mic, do we need it?
Well, yeah, I would say yes, because 32-bit flow, what it does is it kind of saves you. It saves you, for example, if you have the incorrect settings. So let's say like, let's say I'm recording on or like you're in your Canon, Marcus, it has an audio level. Let's just say you have that audio level cranked up all the way to 27 and you plug in your mic and your mic is set at a gain of 6, for example, you're going to be peaking. So you're going to hear.
Overmodulated, yeah.
Right. So now with 32-bit flow, you can bring that into, let's say, Adobe Audition or even the new Adobe AI podcast tool that kind of AI regulates and EQs your mic to sound something like a podcast mic. It'll recover all of that. It's like shooting 32-bit flow is like shooting raw, right? You blow out your highlights, you can recover some of that back, some of that data. Very similar.
Yeah. I think a better analogy would be it's like D-Log for audio.
That's another great analogy. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It keeps it from clipping. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or even
It's a safe backup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have, when like kind of us YouTubers, if we get the audio wrong, sometimes we could just redo it or something. But for a professional, only gets one shot at it or whatever, they have to make sure that they can.
Are you saying that Alex is not a professional, Ron? What? What?
I kind of said us refer to you and I, but
okay.
Alex, his audio is always superb. So.
I'm sorry, you scared me for a second, Alex.
No,
let me
pro
get
here.
my foot in my mouth here and go to story number 1. Mindfield 6.0 meetup is this weekend, August 23rd and 24th in Brownsville, Tennessee. And that's an event hosted by Ken Heron. Yeah, for year 6 now. And I know a lot of people in our community go, we think of it as kind of an FPV event. They say it's for all drone flyers, and sure it is, whatever. But it seems to heavily be attended by FPV flyers. And has anybody in the panel ever gone to Mayfield?
No,
never been.
No, I haven't. I wanted to go this year, but it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, and of course you're starting to learn. You've been working on your acro manual flying, practicing with the sticks recently, right, Alex?
Yeah, only because the shots seem to be better than the motion controller. You can't fly sideways type of thing. And so, yeah, I've been practicing that and utilizing that in some of the footage that I do. But I don't consider myself a real FPV pilot. People laugh at me if I said I was, but that's okay. I enjoy the Avata too, and I fly it as it is with the sticks, and I get what I get.
You sure do. And Eddie, you've been flying manual acro for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah. In fact, recently I started joining Charlie Mafia at the park on Sundays, and I've been flying my traditional FPV drones again.
Oh, wow.
My 5-inch. Yeah, it's I missed them.
That's great. So anyhow, I hope I know Mike Wright, Chris Hope. I can't name all the names. They're going to the
movers and shakers.
Mindfield. There's the movers and shakers are going. Will Barkley be there, Marcus?
I do not know. He lives there close by. I do not know.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Probably maybe for next week's show or the show after that, we'll try to get somebody on that went to Mindfield to give us a little, kind of recap of what happened down there. So,
I'm sure there's going to be live streaming. I know Philip probably is going to be live streaming it, and I'm sure others will too.
Yeah,
I think the Sunrise crew is probably going to be filming in the morning, and
you're right.
They'll be there doing their thing. So,
yeah, correct. That's true. Okay, we're going to go on to story number 2 here. This kind of caught up. We've been hearing leaks about this for a month now, but it kind of all happened this weekend. Insta360 is set to launch its new compact camera, the GO Ultra. this Thursday, August 21st. The email was sent out to customers this morning. I'll get the email up in a second here. This release comes as competition heats up with upcoming models from DJI and GoPro. Pre-orders are expected after the event. Some of the leaked specs for this little camera, it has double the light intake with a 1/1.28 inch sensor. This previous model, the Go 3S, was only a 1/2.3 inch. 156-degree wide angle supports 4K 60 frames per second, where the old one only had 4K 30. New Active-HDR mode, fast charging up to 80% in 10 minutes. Camera size body is 30 by 30 millimeters. That's down in size from the Go S. And the camera weight is 53 grams. That's up from the Go 3s. I'm going to get a couple graphics up here, but does anybody on the panel here have one of these little, we call them kind of POVs, the little almost wearable cameras?
As you know, Ron, I've got the Go 2. Oh,
you got the Go 2. You got the Go 2, which is kind of an older camera by this point, right? Yeah, you got a couple. Now, what was your experience with the Go 2, and what was your use case scenario for it, Marcus?
Well, I thought I would use it a lot when I was making my drone videos. In other words, it was so easy to mount on the bill of a cap, and then you would get, hey, where I looked, then I could show whatever I'm doing with the controller or whatever. But and I'm sure our guests can probably agree with this. What I found out in reality is I was looking around all over the place when I had that thing on my cap. So the footage was really useless. It was not. You might use about 5 seconds of it on something, and then it wasn't worth it. So and then I used it, quite frankly, drag racing. I would mount it in the windshield of my Corvette, and when I'd make a run down the drag strip, I would have that record. I don't use that for that anymore. My new Corvette has a built-in performance data recorder, so I don't need it.
I've always wanted the the smaller Go version of the camera, but I think Marcus, you're spot on, because I even think about the Ray-Ban Metas. When you're wearing those glasses and you hit record, if your head is all over the place, that's exactly what you're getting. Yeah. It's a video that's all over the place. So it's almost like you're wearing a camera and you're trying to frame your shot. So might as well just then pull out your Pocket 3, Action 5 Pro, Insta360, whatever it is you have. I think it's great that all these new cameras are coming out, but the problem is when we start buying all these gadgets, like how often do you use it? And is it something that's going to replace another one of your cameras that you already have?
True. And can it elevate content?
Yeah.
Alex, have you ever played around with one of these little POV cameras?
No, I haven't. The closest thing to it was what Marcus was a fan of, and that was the Action 2. And a lot of people still have the Action 2, but it was modular, right? And the top came off, and you can put it on one of those necklace magnetic things. And if you wanted to walk around with that, you could. How long would it go? But I don't know. I didn't use it that much. I used it, but I didn't use it that much.
It would overheat. If you got that little, I can't remember what the cover that they had for it that acted as a heat sink, it would go longer. But you're absolutely right, Alex. The problem with that camera is it would overheat relatively quickly. But this Insta360 thing, it is cool that it's such a small form factor. I mean, I don't, that was kind of handy, but again, how often do you really need that? Your action camera is pretty small by itself, so.
Let's see it, Marcus. Though it's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay.
While Marcus is getting out there, this image on the screen here, that's not a leaked image. That's the image that actually Insta360 included in their email today, letting us know about it coming out on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
I think something else to consider is also that these cameras may not be for us, but they could be for another type of consumer. So, for example, I still want to get an Insta360 Go. What is it called? A Gold 3
Ultra.
Or that little one, right?
The one we just saw, Ultra. Yeah,
the Ultra, right? I still want one because I have a 3-year-old, And I've been seeing on Instagram some great POV shots where they mount that camera on the child, and the child is going through like, you know, the playground, and they're going down the slide and going up, and that's just a great memory. So for that purpose, you know, I would love a camera like this.
Yeah.
And
And it could probably take a beating.
What's different about the older cameras is this comes, you know, this comes inside of a body, so you have like almost like a traditional looking kind of outer frame, and you click the little part into it, so you can use it as a wearable or as a handheld. And I think what they're pushing on this is the specs, the camera quality specs always lack behind their bigger brothers in the past. So you got the wearable, but you got inferior image quality. Where now this one, the specs are supposedly up to the level where they compete with the real full size action cameras. So you're not really getting a watered down, you know, image quality this time around.
So a little bit of inside baseball here, and I know everybody has their own way of doing things, but this little kit goes with me wherever I go. So I've got the Action 5 and the Action 2, and no matter where I go, that kit is always with me, so that I can grab one or the other and use it, you know, as needed.
That's cool.
That's a good kit.
I like the Action 5.
Yep, it's a good camera.
And it's
DeMarco, have you ever played around with one of these little?
No,
Sorry, Marcus.
no, I've never had something that small though. But Eddie just brought something up though that I was just looking up with the mounting it to the kids' helmets, their football helmets up. The Marcus's Go 2 or Go 3, I would do something like that. So, but for me personally, though, I wouldn't use them.
Okay, let me give you a little hint though, DeMarco. Even that Go 2, it would overheat quickly. So it would also had a recording limit. I think I'm trying to remember how long, of like 10 minutes or something like that, and it would only record that long before it would shut down. But also, what I found is many times before that, even it would overheat and shut down. So I mean, it's a tiny little thing. So
yeah, it's disappointing though.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, there goes that.
I kind of got this up too early here, but because Jasper, let me take that down for a second here. Got a little bit too early here. The big story of the night is, of course, number 3. Last week, the new Antigravity 360 drone made its debut. I won't call it release, I'll call it debut, with a release date of January 2026. The drone will feature a 360-degree camera and is under 250 gram drone. It was shown with a motion controller, style controller and FPV goggles, but no standard controller with sticks was anywhere to be seen that day, and no pricing specs other than the 2 specs I said were released. Many influencers released videos that day, the day it debuted, and for the most part they were pleased with it. But this is just a beta drone at this point, and the video quality they were showing was only 1080p. So,
we were pretty critical of it on our DroneNation live show on the introduction. But what I've kind of learned since then is that I'm definitely not the target for it, and there's a lot of people out there that are super, super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let's go to our 360 guys here. I'm going to go to Alex first. I mean, again, I said in the pre-show, you've done 360 with a couple different Insta360 cameras. You even had the Spear camera, Insta360 camera, which you would put on your Air 2S and fly around. And you incorporate a lot of 360 clips, not the whole video, but you include a lot of 360 clips in portions of your video. Does something like this interest you?
It does to an extent, but not as a primary camera, like you said. And I think Eddie would agree that 360 is a fun B-roll type of footage. I think if I'd read you right, Eddie, right? Yep. It's more like a B-roll thing, but it's not a primary type of a thing. As far as the capabilities of this thing, we still don't know. I think they were saying, I was watching Potato Jet's thing, and he was talking to an actual rep of the Insta360. And if anybody's seen that video, they should recall that the guy confessed that it's only right now doing 25% of what it's capable of.
Right.
So that means there's firmware and capabilities that we don't know about. So it's a little premature, I think, to say, hey, this is going to be the latest and greatest. It may be more than that. It might be less than that. I don't know. I think, and I concur with Eddie, that this is a niche type of product in the sense that it's for editors. If you don't like to edit, this is not for you.
Yep.
This is not for you.
Yeah.
Now, if they correct some of the unusual ways to fly it, meaning like you got to turn your body and so forth, I think people are going to have a hard time acclimating to a new way to fly. And I understand. I mean, you all saw the videos from various people that it's a unique way and different way, and I don't, people are not likely to change the way they fly. They're used to and accustomed. People were looking forward to sticks, so we'll see. But it's definitely not someone who doesn't like to edit.
So Alex,
Alex, do you think this camera could be aimed at like first-time drone flyers, so they don't have to unlearn any of that stuff you're talking about, ways to fly? Like if you've never flown a drone before and you pick this thing up, none of that unlearning is of any consequence to you, right?
And I follow that up with it. They have to want to learn how to fly and learn how to edit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
It's got to be that combination. Otherwise, it's not for a new time flyer. I would recommend like a minis, any type of mini, for a new person who wants to fly.
So Alex, was my concern is, okay, you're wearing those goggles, right? And you're turning that thing. What if you're looking over here, but you're flying forward? I just can foresee, and it has forward obstacle avoidance, but it doesn't have any kind of sideways or rear obstacle avoidance. Man, how long is it going to be before those end up in trees and everything? It's just my thought. I'm not, never done it. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't fly that way. That's sort of similar to like head tracking on the Avatas, right? Yeah. You're flying forward and you're turning your head so that you get that visual. I think it's kind of the same concept, right?
Yeah, Alex, I can tell you, I've seen one video where somebody showed it very well. That it is very similar to head tracking, but in this drone, there's a screen. Even inside the whole 360 world, there's a screen right in front, and that screen shows you exactly where you're going. So even if you look like this to the side and you're seeing to the side, there's still a screen that just shows it straight ahead, the way the drone's going.
So a picture-in-picture, are you saying, Ron? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Thank you, Marcus. That's a good help.
Okay.
There's a picture, and the one picture is where the drone's going. So even if you take a quick peek to the side with the head tracking, you can still kind of look back real quick and see where the drone's heading.
Which is what you should be looking at, where it's heading.
Because more than one person showed that in their videos. And again, I'm not completely understanding it, but they had a method in there to get around what you're saying, Alex, was saying about the head tracking and looking this way and going this way. I don't think you necessarily do that. You still, even when you look this way, you're still kind of going forward, I believe.
And of course, you stand there and you go like this, and the drone. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, the best is I can understand, Mark. Again, I don't know any more than anybody else, except maybe watch too many of those videos. I'm gonna go to Eddie. Did you get a chance to watch any of the information on the launch of this drone? And
I did.
What are your first impressions?
I'll get to that, Ron, but first I think you need to invite Sam Lepore to be on your panel because he commented, "I love my Antigravity AK drone," and then
we'll send him a link right now.
Yeah, I said, "Do you have one?" He goes, "Billy Kyle bought it for me 6 months ago."
Billy had it early, huh?
But no, to your point, I think Alex nailed it. Nailed it. You need to love to edit because flying is part one of that new technology. Part two is then sitting down and keyframing all those shots. I to Marcus's point, I wasn't overly excited, but I am excited that there's another company coming into the space. There's new innovation. I was excited about the goggles. I think the Goggles 3 from DJI should have been that screen and menu versus the cameras that we got, because I think the cameras are kind of useless. I don't know, not a single person that utilizes that.
Nobody. Yeah.
Right. I thought that was pretty innovative, the fact that they added that.
Yeah.
My concern over that 360 drone is that any of us that shoots 360, Ron, you know in particular, if you're really far from a subject, when you reframe and you try to punch in, that image just falls apart. So that's a drone that's intended to be flown really close to whatever your point of interest is. So if it's a bridge, you got to fly really close to that bridge, because if you're hundreds of feet away and you try to reframe that in 360, the image is not going to look nothing like all the videos we've seen. I guarantee that. Whether it's 8K, 1080p, it doesn't matter. An 8K X5 or X4 right now, you try to zoom in on something, the image just looks awful. So that was like my main concern. And right back to Alex, it's 100% a B cam type of device. Now the con with that is, like, if it's your B cam, you got to think about it. Now you're carrying another drone, another remote, another set of batteries, a set of goggles on top of everything else you're carrying. But it's pretty fun. I think it's something that's new, it's innovative, and it's, another niche product, if you will.
One thing that impressed me based on the few videos that I saw was that the goggles, or the drone, I don't know what actually is processing it. I'm assuming it's the drone and the goggles together, but it's doing instant stitching to get that image in your goggles. So that to me, the tech alone is impressive. That alone is impressive, to do it like that, so you can see it and not lag. I mean,
that's a great point.
That's incredible to me.
There has to be some serious processing power in there to do it.
Yeah, and the output of the shots that you can get out of that, I think it was Potato Jet. Yeah, Potato Jet shows some really good examples of things that you need. For an FPV pilot to do some of those shots that they were able to capture, you need to be really, really skilled at those sticks. And here now with the anti-gravity drone, you can just fly a straight line, do a flip, an orbit. Like, you can do everything just by going straight. That to me was impressive.
That's me.
Well, one Potato Jet's, one of the things that he did was he put the goggles up and he just placed the drone where he could physically see it, placed it where he wanted it, and then edited from there. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we forget that the 360 is filming everything. So, the whole purpose of going back to, like, looking around, that's only to see if you miss something, then remember to go get it after the. What I don't know is it always recording? Or is there a button that you can, on the controller, that you can turn off the recording, turn on? Because that's a lot of scrubbing for editors. When you go through all that long recording, that's a lot of scrubbing.
Yeah.
And I don't like to film that way. I like to film in spurts. I have my finger on the record button, shoot for 10, 15 seconds, get the shot, and then reposition and go look for another shot and different angle. So I don't know if there's a button that you can just turn off at will the recording and then turn it back on. So that'll be interesting. But I don't know.
Now there was no mention of price point, right? I didn't hear anything about pricing in any of the videos.
There was no pricing from any of those guys, but since then a rumor's popped up. This is just a rumor that it's going to be $1,300.
13 to 16 is what I heard.
Pricey when you think about Mini 5 Pro around the corner as well.
Yeah. But Eddie, I think you made a great point about you being this drone, you can't fly too far away because you won't see anything, and I think that's maybe why this comes with the goggles, because I think they intend you to fly close to things and not get up there and just fly 300 feet in the air, not near anything. I think this is intended to almost like an FPV drone. Well, I guess it is an FPV drone without manual or anything, but you want to fly close to what you want to film so that it does look good in the 360. We got a lot to learn on this, and I'm going to go. DeMarco wasn't part of our live show on Thursday morning, he was probably had not getting a lot of the kids to school and all that business because his kids went back to school already, right, DeMarco?
DeMarco
Did
frozen.
he freeze
He's
on
reading
it?
the chat.
Marco Moore.
What we should be doing.
Up to the
No,
party.
but you guys keep on freezing, so I have to wait.
We're freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, DeMarco, when we unfreeze, what's your thoughts on the anti-gravity drone?
I thought it was pretty good. I watched the second half of your guys' show though, so I heard what you said without seeing the drone. Like once I watched a couple of videos, thought it was pretty cool. That said, what Eddie and excuse me, Alex said just now about editing, I want nothing to do with that. I don't have the time to sit there and edit.
Having said that, DeMarco, Insta360 is known to have those AI automatic cut type of things. So if you do happen to film for 3, 4, 5 minutes long, and you do that AI auto cut, that resolves some of the problem for some people. Again, it's too early to say. Before you move on to this next subject, Ron, shameless plug, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. We were talking about how we would use this as B-roll type of content, but wow, Javen Dovey, the creator, you guys know who he is, right?
Yeah.
He put out an awesome 8-minute video, and it was all the anti-gravity drone, and it was.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's got that beautiful scenery, but man, did he do a wicked job! I mean, that was sick. It was sick.
Now that he did mention that was only 1080p footage too, not even 4K that we think would be capable of. Because if they partnered with Insta360, you would think it would have a lot of the guts and technology of the X5, which is an 8K, 30 frame per second drone. So, I got this little thing up here from Jasper Ellens. This is about the anti-gravity, even though he's showing some real nice pictures of the Mini 5 Pro. And his statement is something I think that Marcus and I and other people brought up on Thursday. He said, because anti-gravity, I see people questioning if DJI will sell less Mini 5 Pros. To be frank, I doubt it. The 360 drone's biggest flaw is that it doesn't come with a normal remote. Flying with goggles requires a spectator, and regulation-wise, that sucks, he says. Cheers. So, Marcus, you and I and a lot of people discussed the lack of not having sticks, right?
Well, for me, it's a personal thing because of the way my eyes are weird, and so I understand that and goggles just don't work very well for me. So that again is an individual issue for me. Yeah, I prefer sticks and being able to look out. And then the conversation, Ron, that you and I have had 100 bazillion times is also situational awareness. I am never comfortable with those goggles on when I cannot see what's going on around me. So I actually ordered one of the new DJI Pro 2 controller, and I'm excited to see that for that big bright screen. That's going to be cool.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Or I ordered from that same outfit that Mike Wright and all these people are getting there.
Tom Dollinger's guy.
Yeah.
Tom.
You got a date for delivery, Marcus? Or
Well, they say by the 26th. It hasn't shipped yet, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, all those guys claim they get it in 4 days from those guys. So today's what, the 18th. So they could, if it comes in 4 days,
business days, I think. Yeah.
I ordered it while we were live on the show a week ago. So yeah.
Wow.
And you got the last, and he got the last one that night. Somebody said. Yeah. And Bill
They
Drove, you
restocked
say
a
no
lot.
traditional controller for the, of course, the little anti-gravity drone. And I saw one of the people did the videos. They said that there could possibly be a stick controller coming out, say before the drone gets released in January. So
Yeah, but what I recognize is just because it doesn't work for me, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for 90% of the other people out there, right? That's just
and this drone, you could technically fly this without a screen. If you just had sticks and you were flying line of sight, well, you're catching everything in 360, so you don't have to point in any direction. So
That's
you
what
could fly this
Potato Jet-
around
that
line
was-
of sight just with a controller.
That was Potato Jet's big point. He lifted up
Yeah.
the goggles and he placed the drone where he wanted it, and he got some great footage.
Yeah. So, and of course, well, we do. I know a lot of hardcore drone guys. They want to know specs like range, battery time, signal strength, and all that. And we probably won't know that until almost January. All that. I mean, maybe leaks or
But
whatever. But that's important to a lot of people. Maybe not necessarily with this drone. It's hard to say, but I mean, it's definitely got the interest of the community. This new anti-gravity drone, and it is something different. I like to see somebody do something kind of a little bit outside the box, meld a couple technologies together, and like people in the chat have said, 360 videos becoming, it's still a niche product, but it does seem to be growing. You got, of course, the X5 from Insta360. You got the GoPro Osmo 360 out now, competing with it in almost every arena. And then the rumored GoPro Max 2 coming in September, another 360 camera. So we'll have three kind of state-of-the-art 360 cameras out in a short time. So I mean, it's getting to be a competitive, crowded field right now, and I think it's great. Alex, do you like seeing the big three companies go toe to toe in the 360
Absolutely.
market?
Oh yeah. I think the fact that Insta360 has been around now for a while and they have a fairly good reputation.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have a question though before I answer that one. The Avata 2, when it came out, did it come out with the sticks? It was the goggles and
it has sticks and motion controller on day one.
You have to buy it separately though.
Yeah, and this might be the case here for the anti-gravity.
Yeah.
It might be the case. They just haven't developed it yet, maybe. Who knows? But how hard is it to develop sticks, right?
Yeah.
The stick.
Now I forgot your original question.
The frame and the goggles resemble DJI, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think there's some sort of collaboration happening. There has to be.
I wondered about that too, Eddie. I had that.
Yeah.
Where does anti-gravity company come from all of a sudden?
Hey, so let me run this by you. Where I think it would be amazing is if you could take video with it, post it on social media, YouTube, say, and then I, as the viewer, could change the perspective of where it was flying. That would be something. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's possible. That's possible now with 360 cameras. Yeah.
Well, with a picture, I've never seen it on video, Ron. Is there?
There is a way you can do it on video too. I believe there is a way you can do it on video.
Is there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'll have to find one in YouTube and send it to you, Marcus.
I mean, I've seen pictures. I've seen people do it with. I've done it with pictures, posted, but I've never seen it done with video. But that sounds like a great idea.
Well,
I
Marcus,
think that'd be amazing.
Well, say that tip, Marcus, because Insta360 also has a program where they want testers and beta testers, and also there's like a $10,000, $20,000,
$20,000. Did you apply, Ron?
For sending in a great idea. So,
Did you apply?
You better send that idea and get your $20,000.
I applied. Did you apply?
I did. I've been busy. I haven't got a chance yet. But Jackie,
I'll bet you Eddie applied.
I did not.
What?
I
sure Alex did.
We're all leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun. Would I get selected? Probably not. There's going to be thousands and thousands of entries.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it was super easy to apply. So why not do it? Yeah.
You may be the only one from Miami though, or something.
Maybe. Hey, the fact that they're compensating you with a retail version on the day of release, I thought was good enough. I knew the 20,000 was going to be a split somewhere. So
do you actually? I'm wondering if it's just a loan. Do they loan you one and you have to send it back? I'm not clear on that.
I thought I read that what you're getting is a tester unit.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to turn that in, and then on the day of the release, they're sending you the retail final.
Okay.
If I didn't, maybe I misread that, but that was my understanding.
Gotcha.
But let's see.
Let's
see who's going to confess.
Money, Marcus.
Jackie did apply as well, and I sincerely hope she gets it. She'd be perfect for it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move off the 360 camera for a second.
Yeah.
And go to well, we're actually still in the subject a little bit with all the leaks for the anti-gravity drone. One leaker was even comparing it to specs of a rumored DJI 360 drone in the works, and it had very similar specs to the Insta360 one. We could possibly see 2 Insta360 drones in the near future from 360 people themselves, Insta360 in collaboration with Antigravity, and even DJI. Now they have a 360 camera. Maybe they're going to use that technology in a drone. What if we had 2 competing 360 drones? That would be amazing. Eddie, any chance of anything like that happening?
And the Pro.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. I mean, all these companies are just churning out products left and right. You buy one product 6 months from now, the competitor does another one 3 months, then something else comes out. So I wouldn't be surprised.
DJI has the resources to do it.
Yeah.
All righty. Well,
if you can get it.
Yeah. We're going to go to another thing here. We got an email today from DJI. Our friends over at DJI, they're having their back to school sale right now. And I'm going to go, here's some of the things. They have the Power 2000, the Osmo Mobile 7. I've checked those. You can actually, if in the US, you can order that stuff. The Power 1000, the Power 500. Some of the stuff's up to 50% off. But now when you get down here to the DJI Avata Flymore combo kit, it says buy now, sold out in the US if you're coming from the US websites. And the common thread here is anything that's drone to drone related is sold out. But power stations and phone gimbals, they're well stocked on the DJI US stores. So kind of a continuing trend here, Marcus, right in the DJI product availability. Drones not so good. Power stations, they're real good. They're well stocked.
Did you see Johnny's comment? I think it's well taken. It's third one down there.
Is that the one?
Wagon.
I can see this dude walking around with a
It
power.
said back to school sale. I can't see a kid with a backpack carrying that to school. It just doesn't add up.
He needs a wagon with it.
Yeah.
So I'm a wagon with it.
Maybe a kid over 16 that has a car or something.
It's the size of a boombox when I was a kid.
Yeah. So again, just a sad state of affairs. The DJI US store with being basically, well, not basically, it is droneless.
Never thought we'd see it, but here it is. We're living it right now, aren't we?
Yeah. DJI power stations and phone gimbals.
I wonder like how that DJI New York City store is doing, like financially, right? Like how are they staying afloat with most of the products gone and the difficulty of, if they're getting it, they're getting X amount of stock and they're not able to push product like a normal brick and mortar store.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah. It's a tragedy.
Maybe they got a discount on the rent.
Has anybody here looked on Best Buy's website? Just go on Best Buy and search drones, and it's just it's worse than some of the Amazon drones. I mean, it's just all really, I wouldn't even call it second tier, third tier products.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One last story here, and we're moving through things fast here tonight. The Part 108 proposal, you're now able to read it, and our friend Greg from Pilot Institute released a video recently in which he takes a deep dive into his thoughts on what this means for U.S. drone pilots. And I know, Marcus, you got a chance to look at that because you commented on his video. What are your thoughts on Greg's assessment of the new 700-page Part 108 proposal?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it an assessment, but he did try to explain everything as best he could.
He said this. He tried to keep his opinion out of it.
Yeah, so a lot of it applied to commercial users, right? I mean, 90% of that video was about commercial users. However, it was fascinating to see how the government is thinking about that. they're taking Part 107 away, and these guys that are going to be flying these big fleets of commercial drones, their training is not even government certified. They're going to get certified by the company that they work for. So that just sounds a little odd. It just reminds me of the old Boeing days where Boeing's self-certification with their aircraft, and you know what happened to the 737 MAX. So that's kind of odd. However, there is a little codicil in there for recreational flyers that we could fly permitted. And I don't think it's not completely clear exactly how that works. So do we get a blanket permit for 2 years for a given geographical area, or I'd like to know more of the details of that, and obviously we won't yet. But the fact that they even thought about recreational flyers flying beyond visual line of sight, I think is a good sign. They were talking about within like denser population areas, not over half a mile. Well, that's plenty, I think. If you're in I'm down with that. Who's flying over half a mile if you're in a dense population area?
Alex
I think it was was it 2 or 3 miles? I think if you were out in a thinner population. But anyway, it's good news.
Yeah. I mean, when he went over most of what he was talking about, most season Part 108 is mostly intended for not even unmanned aircraft, but even unsupervised aircraft. That these autonomous flights with he had a couple things called a supervisor or something else, but really these drones could do their whole mission without any even remote pilot even touching any controls.
They specifically said that they're going to limit the amount of controls that they had. They can't limit whether it turns or whatever it does. And their positions they were essentially like a truck dispatcher, right? You're dispatching a fleet of trucks. That's essentially what it was.
Tom's saying here, no regulation Part 107 flyers will still need waivers for beyond visual line. Part 1 will be consolidated Part 91 and Part 44809. Well, Tom obviously understands this a lot better than I do or whatever. Yeah.
That's Chinese to me, but all I want to know is what do I have to do to comply with regulations?
And Greg didn't spend much time on what a hobbyist pilot has.
Yeah, he was
more a lot of time talking about these these basically robotic things flying missions on their own. Well, did you get this from what he said, Tom? I mean, Marcus. It even seemed like manned aircraft that did not have ABS in and whatever, they would have to heed. They would have
ADS-B.
they would have to heed these remote drones rather than the remote drones heeding them.
Right. If you are in an aircraft without ADS-B, a manned aircraft, it's your job to see and avoid the drone.
These Part 108 autonomous drones, yes.
Right.
Which I found that kind of different. Anyways, either Alex or Eddie, did you guys get to see any of this Part 108 stuff? You have any thoughts on it so far?
I'm not even a 107, so.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of it, so I'm totally unfamiliar with it.
Yeah. Well, the key is, Alex, your 107 makes no difference at all on 108. You don't even need 107 to be 108. Right. They've kind of taken flying beyond visual light away from 107 and put it in with 108. So again, you don't have to be 107 anything to be 108 flying beyond visual line of sight.
Correct.
It's good to know.
Okay.
How about DeMarco? Did you look at any of this Part 108 stuff?
I have not seen any of it yet. No.
So who's the targeted audience for 108 versus 107?
Well, there's certificated and there's permitted. There are two different things, two different parts of it. Certificated are the commercial people doing the autonomous things, and then permitted, I think, is the smaller, like the real estate guy and like recreational like us. I'm sure the chat can correct me on that, but I believe that's it had to reach a certain level for it to be certificated.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinion, these rules are put in place for drone deliveries, and maybe even like down the road, the drone taxis and things like that being put in place more, for industry like that. Like I said, drone deliveries is obvious when I say than it is for anything else. So, and of course, it sounded like to get approved for Part 108, even as a hobbyist, it seems like it would be like it doesn't seem like right now. Say Part 107 or anything, you want to get approved to fly in some kind of restricted airspace. You just apply an app, and sometimes you get instantaneous approval. I don't think that's the way Part 108 works or whatever. You're going to have to submit more of a flight plan more ahead of time or whatever to get that permission.
Well, the thing is, Ron, it's permitted. For what we will be doing, it would be, if you wanted to fly BVLOS, it would be permitted. And that is, we don't know what kind of procedure that is. Is it a blanket thing for a geographical area? Is it something that you could apply for once and it's good for 2 years or whatever, and you can, Alex could fly all over Miami? I mean, we don't know yet.
We don't know. And this is a proposal. It hasn't been approved yet. And you can send your comments in. Like, I don't know what the date is, but there's a period, at least 30 days or more, where you can send comments on your thoughts on this, whatever, that they'll read over and take into account before they make a final.
And that works so well for us on remote ID.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah. So, yeah. And Ray's very happy that Alex is coming to the meetup this year or whatever. Happy I'm coming back.
I'm 40 something. I thought I was like higher on the list, but I forgot.
Well, maybe you fell a little bit. So.
I just said, Ray, I'm going. You know me. I'm going to go.
Yeah. So maybe we'll all be flying our anti-gravity 360 drones at the meetup, Alex.
Maybe. Got to fly it through the pavilions, right? So that we can capture everybody.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, and of course, the anti-gravity drone, I'm sorry to have a good picture to show people if you haven't watched the millions of stories on it. It has the deductive props, so it's safe, right, Alex?
I don't remember.
So. No, not what I saw, Ron.
Yeah, I don't think
what
so.
impressed me was the little landing gear. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I love that little landing gear. Yeah.
That was slick, because even with the sphere, putting it on the Air 2S, you got to really be careful about that bottom lens.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about these are not replaceable lenses too? So
I know, yeah.
One crash and there you're, yeah.
And the remember the FPV drone that you were able to mount the Insta360, the one that's like a cube? That was the major problem landing it, right? They didn't think about landing. So when you would land, you actually land on something and the glass used to hit. So that design was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, when the Insta360 Spirit came out for the Air 2 and Air 2S, it even came with a landing mat. You had to land on the landing mat and not on the gravel or the dirt or anything else. So, and of course, that had rubber protectors on it when you took it off. But it did come with lens covers, protective lens covers.
Yes.
There. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
But those, I mean, I've never been a fan of the protection because it's just more glare. But
yes, 100%.
It is what it is.
That's my fear with getting the ND filters for the X5. One is that I think they're pricey. $60 I think is a lot for those things. But all they really are is just lens protectors with, the ND on them.
Yep. Yeah. So,
but $65 isn't so bad considering the drone might be costing $1,400, $13.
That's true.
Yeah. And a lot of people have questions like that too. Will the anti-gravity have ND filters? And so it's a lot of questions that we won't know for a long time on the anti-gravity as far as specs, accessories, pricing, and so on. So, but
when Marcus is done testing us, he'll tell us. Eddie and I will edit your footage. Come on.
That's something I need to learn how to do. But you're spot on, Alex. you better be a fan of editing, and I already spend hours and hours, so I can't imagine what it's like to keyframe everything. It's got to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to the editing for a second. Since this drone's tied in with Insta360, and of course they have an iPhone or Android app or whatever, and they have a desktop component too. I wonder if we'll be using the same software that we use for our X4, X5s to do the editing with the anti-gravity drone.
I would imagine that it's like some sort of rebranded. It was probably the same UI, just rebranded, different color scheme, different name. But I'm pretty sure that the Insta360 Studio is the foundation to whatever they create.
And that kind of gives them a leg up because they have very mature software already in place then.
Yeah. And I can also see them, well, I would hope, that when they get closer to a release date, they do another wave of influencers, right? And I think they'll give the drone to them this time so that they can use it, get different types of perspective. Because all we got was the local event, right? That event that they held with that drone at a very limited capacity. So I'll be curious to see what the final product will actually, do for the pilot.
So that's what I objected to about that reveal. We really got nothing. We got to see what the thing looks like, and we got to see some footage. However, we didn't get any specifications. We didn't get a release date. They're saying January. Well, we've all been down this road long enough to know that means it's probably about May, maybe. And then pricing. So you just didn't get the details that you would hope that would come along with a reveal.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder why did they do that? Because that's a very odd way of releasing, right? So they're not asking for crowdfunding,
right?
So, but what was the point of them announcing this ahead of schedule?
Especially that far ahead.
Right.
Well, a lot of people's opinion, including like Jasper, they think it was to suck the air out of the room on the Mini 5 so that you would get hooked on getting this and you buy it instead of the Mini 5 Pro.
That's not even apples and oranges. That's apples and avocados. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, two totally different products.
Or it was just timing because of the DJI ban situation, and let's put our product out there. And if they can't get DJI, get ours.
From today, August to January, that's a forgotten product.
That's what I was saying too. People are going to forget. Yeah.
No, well, here, let me say this: with guys like us, we'll forget too. But I am sure that there are people out there who don't know what we all know about drones, and they see something that looks similar to a Mini whatever, and it does more that they think, and something that they're not thinking about. What you all had said earlier, there's no front-facing camera, and I'm sure people are considering that because I didn't at first. I didn't.
I would think announcing, a reservation, $100 deposit or something that you're online, but they didn't even do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So much up in the air that we don't know what we don't know, right?
Yeah, that's
Johnny
6
agrees.
firmware
Johnny
updates away.
He says by the time the drone comes out, it will be forgotten.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Remember, there's
back,
firmware
I'm gonna
updates
swing back-
ahead. So
I'm going to swing back to the editing for a second here. I'll throw this out to Alex and Eddie. When you guys do your heavy-duty editing, are you using the phone app or are you using the desktop app mostly?
I use the desktop. I've never touched the phone app. Just the phone app only to upgrade my firmware. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
yeah, I'll use the desktop version. But if it's something like for a 15-second reel or something like that, I might use the app on the phone because it's just convenient.
Right.
It's just convenient.
Right, and one thing, maybe the drone will do this too, Alex, where you don't even have to move that footage to your phone to do whatever. You can just have the Insta360 on and the phone app on at the same time, and you can do that again without even transferring, the video file off the
Yes.
off the camera.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that's
Yeah.
pretty cool about the phone app, because I have messed with it, but I've never like really exported a video, is that instead of you can just point your phone and it
Yeah.
moves, and you just tap the screen in a keyframe, so it's much easier theoretically than the app, than on your desktop.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
I haven't used that part, but
Yeah,
it's
who was
interesting
Sean?
now that you mention it.
Yeah, Sean out in Colorado, he used to sit on a chair like I'm on now, and add the video just by moving his chair around. He would you hit record and you move around and you reframe like that. Yeah, Sean I used to do it all the time.
Well, that's what I was thinking about flying the thing. They said you had to, so I could just take my chair and just, then you just spin around. Hey,
Done.
Marcus is sold. Marcus is gonna he's gonna hit the buy button.
yeah,
January.
Export. Done. Editing done.
yeah.
He could just buy a 360 camera now and practice up for the next 6 months or 4 months.
Not bloody likely.
Marcus is totally against 360.
No, I'm not totally against it. I've got my hands full with what I'm doing already.
Yeah. That's just another layer
yeah.
of work. Yeah.
So I guess we'll wrap the 360 stuff up there. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about tonight that maybe on their minds or we forgot to bring up? Or
Well, I spent a lot of time playing Battlefield 6, Ron, and I was hoping that I would have seen Eddie out on one of those servers, but did not.
How'd you do, Marcus?
I killed a few bad guys. Yeah,
Okay,
one or two.
okay.
Yeah.
Any new e-bikes coming down the pipeline, Marcus?
I turn them down now, Eddie. I've done enough of it, and I don't listen. I'm a dumb e-bike reviewer anyway. It's not my core competency by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I've had a few offers. They want us. You get them too, and I'm kind of like, for one thing, I think it kind of doesn't help my channel because people don't tune into Idaho Quadcopter to see an e-bike. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. And then they can add up pretty easy, right? And it's not like the drones behind you. Where do you store them?
Well, I listen. I had a trailer full of them out here. I'm not kidding. I've got a cargo trailer. But you'll be proud of me, Eddie. I sold those things off like
Awesome.
You don't even know. Yeah,
Awesome.
I had a big sale. Yeah.
That's how he's been buying those drones.
Yeah.
Marcus is the biggest e-bike dealer in Boise.
I think I've got 2 e-bikes left and an electric scooter. Yeah, that's what
The
I
most
got.
recent one I got invitation for was a mobility chair. It's a wheelchair. Did you get that one? Electric
I
wheelchair?
get those too, and I listen. I'm almost 70 years old. Almost. I'm 69, but I'm telling you, I am not ready to review mobility chairs.
Come on, Marcus.
Yeah. Maybe in another 10 years or 15 years. I don't know. Maybe.
Eddie, how's the the Cybertruck been running for you since the last time you were on?
Oh, it's fantastic. So I recently received the Grok update. So, you can talk to it. You can have a whole conversation.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, you can kind of like change the style. So you can go to unhinged mode. You can go to confrontational mode, and you can ask it about anything. Like Billy and I, we mess around. We ask Grok questions about each other. And the thing just goes off cursing at like the other person, and we record it, we send it to each other. You have to hear these things. It's amazing. And it uses the internet, right, to like just get information about you, and it is so precise that it's scary. Like it knows so much about you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then besides that, another enhancement that I did was I made that video about why I don't supercharge at home. It's very unique to New York City, but it was a valid reason, right? Because electricity in New York City is expensive. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know how much you pay per kilowatt hours. Like Marcus, what do you pay?
Yeah, you know what? When you give me just a second, I'm going to tell you it was way less than what you quoted because I looked. Give me
Yeah.
just a second.
So I pay in New York City 38 cents a kilowatt. While my supercharger during off-peak hours, it's like at 22, depending on the location I go to, 22 or 28 cents. And the supercharger will charge up my Cybertruck in 30 to 40 minutes. So why would I charge at home at 38 cents and it'll take about 8 hours?
So the summer rate, the high rate, Eddie, is 12 cents a kilowatt hour.
Look at that.
And the normal rate is like 10 cents.
Look at that. That's crazy. But what I did though, however, is I did install a Tesla charger at home and I signed up for their time of use plan. So our company in New York City is called Con, like the perfect name for them. So at off peak, which is after midnight, it's only 2 cents a kilowatt. That's amazing, right?
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess how much is peak? So 68. So they doubled my rate during the day, but at night after midnight it's only 2 cents. So but what they did was that they guarantee that they'll look back at a year, and if I would have paid less on the standard rate, they'll credit me back, is what they're saying. So I'm gonna give that a try.
You mentioned that, Eddie, and I looked, and my power company offers a similar program, similar thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's it for me, Ron.
That's it for you.
Listen, I can put about almost 600 miles of range in my Dodge Ram in about 7 minutes if it's a fast pump. So,
There you go. I get 250, 260 miles of range. And with my level 2 charger, it'll probably take about 6 to 8 hours to charge. At a supercharger, it'll take 40 minutes, an hour tops.
So Eddie, have you traveled with it much? Have you gone like distance with it?
I have like maybe, I want to say like the furthest I've gone is like 280 miles, 300 miles, not like crazy long road trips.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm getting at is then you really have to plan your route ahead of time, correct?
Well, no, I would say that's the benefit of Tesla. In terms of charging, there is superchargers, and I'm in the Northeast, so it might be a little different right than in the middle of the country, but there is superchargers everywhere. And when you load an address on your GPS map, you can actually tell it like, I want to arrive to my destination at X amount %, and it'll plan all the charges along the route and have you stop there. And it will even tell you. So for example, you don't necessarily have to stop and charge for 30 minutes. You can simply charge for like 10 minutes and you'll get enough to get to your destination. So that's the way they have that layout, I think is really, really convenient. And I don't have any range anxiety at all. At the beginning I had because of the uncertainty, but once I started driving and like getting real use out of it, real experience, zero range anxiety. Like I can be at 10% battery and I'll just go out because I know that I'll be able to charge.
Right.
I remember you tweeted you were doing a hyperlapse while you were charging.
Oh, I always, anytime I go to a supercharger, I bring my drone and I hyperlapse because usually they're at the malls, and I like to do the long exposure hyperlapse, so you get to see the mall, the strip, or whatever it is, and all the cars and all the people. It's a great place for hyperlapses.
That's natural. That's great.
Yeah.
Alex, I recently, found a long lost video that I shot at the South Florida Drone Meetup. It actually was the Sunday afternoon after the official events were over. And I'm going to let Alex kick in here so he can tell the whole story. So I come out to the parking lot. I'm kind of showered up, ready to go to dinner. I'm waiting for everybody else to get ready. And I found Alex out there. And
Was that at Conchi Joe's, Ron?
Pardon?
Going to dinner at Conchi Joe's?
Going to Conchi Joe's and flying a drone too, right? But Alex is out there with his Avata 2, and it's not flying. So he starts to tell me a story that you hit something that day, right? You hit the drone with something, but the controller is broken, the motion controller, right?
Yeah, something happened. I was at the Dolman Park. I think that was Sunday. I think.
Yes, Sunday. Yeah.
And I went low with the Avata 2, and I was dodging a sign, I went into the mangroves, And Scott Jackrabbit helped me find it. But anyway, from that point forward, the drone wasn't acting right. And the controller was like out of whack. It wasn't calibrated. I calibrated. I did everything. Long story short, not to bore anybody, but Maddie saved the day. And
let me stop you. Let me stop you to fill in some context. So when I found you, you had a bunch of people like Johnny and over. You had a whole table full of people in the lobby was working on it for at least an hour, and they got nowhere. Is that correct?
In the lobby, they were working on flying Flynn's drone.
Yeah. Well, the location map. You had a whole bunch of people trying to help you, and you were getting nowhere, right?
Oh yeah. You name it. Rick was there. Johnny was there.
All the experts.
And if Johnny could,
I can't remember offhand.
Good. Yeah. If Johnny can't fix it, man.
Johnny
So
only
when I
knows how
saw
to
you,
speak copter.
you'd already been going. You had already had a lot of people have worked on it. They weren't getting anywhere, and then Maddie came out in that time frame, right?
Yeah, but Johnny did try to fix it. I mean, he got a little Phillips driver, and he's like, "I'm just saying, just tighten the screws," you know. So he tightened it, and it still didn't work. So much for Johnny's help. But I love the guy; he's cool. But yes, then Maddie took over. He hooked it up and to his computer and worked his magic. And 20 minutes later, we reconfigured the motion controller with the Avata 2 and liftoff. It was good. It was a good thing. He did it. So
yeah, and then
and then the chase began. Yeah. There was several of us.
I was just messing around with a little Neo, and I capture all that. And of course, the Neo captures good audio too.
Yes, and that video is up on Ron Brown's channel.
Yes.
Catch it. Tune in.
Tune in, and if you're looking for a Neo, there's also a Ron Brown affiliate link, and buy your Neo there.
Absolutely.
Well,
and, as well as the Avata 2, yeah.
And the Avata 2, yes, yeah.
But this video had a lot of drone celebrities in it, right? We saw Alex and Rodney Bell and Maddie and TJ. It was just filled with celebrities.
Johnny?
There was a dozen people there. Yeah, Philip. Who else? You're right. Rodney, Johnny, TJ was there. Yeah.
Look, we the group of vloggers in the background. It was like a cast.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the proverbial who's who.
Yeah. And we were all flying and chasing each other in the parking lot. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot more chasing happened after the Neo ran out of battery, unfortunately. But
yeah.
A good time was had by all that day. Once you got his drone fixed, and the drone's been fine ever since, right?
Yeah, it's rocked. Yeah, absolutely. And I rarely fly with the motion controller. In fact, I haven't. I've been using the sticks because I enjoy what I capture better on the sticks.
Yeah. So Johnny says that drone is junk at a V-copter.
That's our Johnny.
Ron, I know that we're closing up, but give us your 2-minute overview, first impressions on those Meta Ray-Bans.
I've actually had them for a while. I just got that video out. I'm kind of slow to get to learn them. Like they're good for I'm good taking phone calls in them. Playing music when I don't want to wear my Apple AirPods Pro, whatever. And I'm taking pictures, but I'm not too good at having it like take a picture and load to Instagram yet or whatever. Like I don't seem to have the commands down right. But it's my fault. It's all user dumbness on my part, not the glasses. And I've modified them, Eddie. Your suggestion, I got the ones that changed, but they're not dark enough when I'm out in the real sunny thing. So on Amazon, I've got these little clip-ons that like match perfectly and have the cutouts for the camera and anything. So you don't even know they have them on. They're all dark and polarized. So I've solved that problem. And even though I have my got my cataracts, and I don't need glasses per se anymore. I do need readers. So I've even got these little stick-on reading things on the bottom, so I actually can read with them now too. If I have to look at something tiny on my phone, so I've got them all modded up. I've got to make a video about that sometime.
Oh, cool.
Maybe they'll link up with the anti-gravity drone, and you can look around.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never got around to making my my peak design what do you call
So
it, bag
sling bag.
review. Yeah,
Yeah.
sling bag review or whatever, which I probably do. But that's coming in a future video.
You know, I'm just looking at Josh Primac's comment there about the V-Copter. He's talking about a V-Copter 720. Will we get a V-Copter with a 360 camera on it? When's that coming?
Well,
Johnny will be the first to get
Johnny's
it.
the one you want to talk to.
Yeah, we need to find out from Johnny. Yeah.
It's got to be flatter, wouldn't it be, to hide the drone?
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
Well, you only got two arms. Hey, real quick, Marcus put out a video last week about an old drone, the Autel Nano Plus. And Marcus and I had a conversation about this over the weekend. He had a bunch of issues with it, but that's not really the conversation here. We were talking about when that drone came out. The Nano Plus came out in an era where the DJI Mini 2 was still the king of the mini drones, right? We had the Mini 1, Mini 2, and the Mini 2 was a big improvement. So the Nano comes out in January of the year, and of course it has a lot of issues and bugs at first, but it did have the best camera on a mini drone at that point, especially for low light. The Mini 2 was a great flying drone, and the camera was great out in the bright sunlight, but it wasn't any good in low light, so it wasn't good for sunsets, sunrises, anything like that. Where the Nano, has this good low light camera, and it's kind of the king in the camera. But what it left out is the Mini 2 flew great, especially in the wind, where the Nano was not good at all in the wind, flew real slow, and it was only the king of the mini drones for about 6 months. By the summer of that year, the Mini 3 Pro had come out. It kind of stole his thunder a little bit or whatever. So it was kind of an interesting history. Marcus, what are your thoughts on that kind of timeline there?
Well, so there were a lot of issues with that drone when it first came out. They had issues with the gimbal, so you'd get those little micro shakes in the video, which were completely unacceptable. You'd get jello and you'd get those little shakes, and absolutely unacceptable. Although like you said, the camera quality looked good. But again, there were some features that were supposed to be on it that weren't on it when it first came out. It didn't fly like you would expect. In fact, when I flew it the other day making that video, one of the first things I noticed, I always do a droney. It's first part of my video. If you give it the up input and the back input at the same time, it'll do one, but it doesn't want to do both. So you kind of have to do one at a time as it's backing up there. However, that said, it took me a good year to get that drone completely sorted out. And finally, I sent it back into Autel. They gave it a tune-up, and man, it worked great after that. The obstacle avoidance was tuned up and worked great. And earlier on, there were a ton of obstacle avoidance issues with it. You'd get all kinds of falsing, just really was frustrating to fly. But once they got it right, it's pretty good. And other than those power issues that I was talking about, that camera still holds up today. It takes fabulous video.
And it was the first mini drone to have obstacle avoidance.
Well, I think Hubson beat him to the punch on that one, Johnny.
Okay. Sorry, Hubson. Sorry, Hubson.
That was a piece of work. But the key, at least for me, was sending it into Autel, and they did a tune-up on it, and muy bueno.
But it still has some odd things about it, like you can't turn HDR on until the drone's actually in the air and flying. You can't
Exactly
even
right.
And if you turn video on before you take off, it's in a low res, 720p or something, right?
Yeah, just don't even bother. Don't start video until you've already taken off, and then you can also turn HDR on. You can't do that while it's on the ground. You got to get the drone in the air before you do that. And I had issues on that. If you see that video, it was in a fail-safe mode. It wouldn't fly any faster than 5 meters per second. And man, I just pulled my hair out. I went, through the app and everything I knew to do that. Ultimately, it came down to doing an IMU calibration. I did an IMU calibration. Boom, solved the issue. But I had some commenters tell me one of the things about Autel is the drone often, if that was a DJI drone, you would get a warning on the screen that would say, "Hey, I need a calibration." Autel doesn't do that as well, so you probably should just do an IMU calibration and a compass calibration once in a while.
Yeah. And Johnny's saying here, camera amazing, but it's slow as crap. Even when you have all the problems solved, it's
Right.
still fly. When you try to fly it into a wind or whatever, it looks like it's flying in that city mode or whatever. It's barely
You just
moving.
can't fly it in the wind. You just can't. Yeah, if you've got more than a 10-mile-an-hour wind, just don't even bother. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's just a shame that you know, they didn't concentrate more. It kind of flew like the Mini 1. The Mini 2 was all right, but it flew slow like the Mini 1. So no matter how good the camera is, if the drone, you know, can't even fight the wind, it was hard to kind of, you know, it was one of those drones you only had to use when the weather was good type of drone. So interesting history on it, really. And you made a point in the video. It's a shame they never hung in there and made a you know, Nano 2 with better
exactly.
motor. Like
Yeah,
that.
just think if we'd have had a Nano 2 or even a Nano 3 by now. Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. Again, and then the Mini 3 Pro came in and just kind of stole the mini drone market back and never gave it up again. And
Yeah,
here
never
we're on
looked
the
back.
verge of a Mini 5 Pro coming out, you know, real soon. So listen, we're going to end here. You know, I know, you know, Alex and Eddie have to get up early for work tomorrow, whatever. They're both in my time zone, so it's getting late on the East Coast here. It's 10:21. So, but I do want to thank them both for coming. They have 360 knowledge that the rest of the panel doesn't have, and some insights into where 360 has been and where it's going in the future. And it's interesting that it's going to be built into a, you know, super drone that's coming out, you know, like 4 months from now or whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to buy it, but I'm real interested to see the final product and final specs and pricing, whatever. And I could easily be I don't tend to get now, but my mind could easily be changed on that matter depending on what I see, you know, come January. So final thoughts.
You'll get
Eddie?
it. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Eddie?
Looking forward to the Mini 5 and seeing if anything changes here in the United States. That's going to be sort of like the baseline for the future.
Definitely. Alex, final thoughts?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what changes are coming up for that particular drone. Not that I'm going to get it, but you know, I'm always curious about the new tech and the new technology
you never
and
know.
the Mini 5 and all the other stuff that's coming out. Any word on the new mics, the DJI mics?
The Mic 3 is still in play, but no dates or anything. I think that, you know, they have the mics still out there. Their the DJI Nano camera still out there. So there's things that we've seen leaked all summer, and we still don't have any dates for. So I guess they got to get the Mini 5 out before we start seeing leaks or you know, dates on that.
The
other
stocking
stuff.
stuffers are going to be down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. DeMarco, final thoughts for tonight?
Thank you, Boris, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks to Marco. Pleasure being here.
Yeah. Marcus, final thoughts before we close it out?
Yeah, so with regard to that anti-gravity drone, at the price point that they're talking about, I don't think that I would buy one simply because of what we've discussed. It's a niche product, and it just doesn't really fit what I do, so I probably wouldn't. If it was a $600 drone, I might, right? But it's double that. I'm not sure. Never say never, right? I never say never, but yeah, probably would not. With regard to the Mini 5 Pro, I'm hearing encouraging things about that our customs problems. One of the reasons it got delayed was our customs problems could be resolved. Well, Ron, you brought that up. iPhondo made that comment in one of his videos, so that would be a good thing for us.
He made the comment in reference to the Osmo 360 camera. He said that would be available in the U.S. in September.
Right. But it's interesting then that they pushed out the date for the release. Yeah. So I'm hoping that that's why they did that, right? Secondly, I'm going to be in Spain when that thing releases. If they're saying September 16th is what I'm hearing.
You
So-
could walk into a store and get it.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly, Alex. They got to have some kind of a Best Buy or analogous store over there. Yeah, just walk in there and pick one up. You never know.
Just follow Backpack Jack.
Yeah, Jackie will know where to get one. Yeah, she'll know what to do.
Marcus, just take an empty like mini 4 Pro box with you, and then stuff the Mini 5 in the Mini 4 Pro box and bring it back in with you. You know?
Yeah.
So-
Well, anyway, all of that said, again, just like DeMarco and Ron said, Alex and Eddie, really just a pleasure having you guys on the show, because you really add a lot of knowledge to what we're trying to get across here. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey guys.
Yeah, great. I want to thank everybody in the chat who joined us tonight, and for all your comments and questions. So if I didn't get to you tonight, I'm sorry. I was slow getting going there, but you guys, make us, the reason we do the show is because you guys in the chat or whatever, all the supporters. So, okay, we will see you back next Monday. Hopefully we got something interesting to go over next Monday. So everybody had a good week. It's getting near the end of August here. For us people in the Northern Hemisphere, summer is quickly kind of, coming to an end here, whatever. So, it's that time of year we're halfway through summer or more than halfway through. So, we'll see you on the next one, folks.
Take
End
care.
stream.
Everybody.
Oh, DeMarco didn't